Good joke or off color?
It was a good joke, but it wasn't appropriate to tell it. I mean, the fact that she thinks this is a laughing matter when the FBI is investigating her, I think there's a mismatch between how she views the scandal and how everyone else outside the Clinton bubble does.
Mo, you worked for Hillary Clinton back in 2008. I'm guessing that you're hearing from your friends who are inside the campaign what some of us are hearing, which is that they were not so worried, and maybe they're a little bit more worried now.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, I don't think that emails are going to be the deciding factor for people who go into the voting booth. But I do think that the firestorm around us has taken a lot of oxygen out of the room, that they would rather, be focused on the issues rather than be talking about this. So I think that's why you're seeing them step up their effort now to kind of put all the questions to rest. And I think that joke, probably more than anything, served as a reassurance to her supporters, right? That, I'm not down. This thing is not stopping me. I'm moving forward, and there's nothing to see here.
Governor.
Come on. All you have to do is say the word Colin Powell. You say, well, actually, former secretaries of state have done exactly the same thing, use their own personal email for state business. It's exactly what Colin Powell did. This is not going to be the attack on Hillary Clinton that the Republicans are going to be successful with. They'll find something new, but this is not going to get them to the finish line.
I disagree, because I think the fact that it does play into her vulnerability as a national security candidate. She set up a private server for her own personal convenience that potentially compromised national security. Add that up with her record as Secretary of State, I think it paints a big
But that wasn't a problem with Colin Powell.
And Eric, go ahead.
Let me just say, it was an inappropriate joke. And especially when you have the FBI trying to recreate the email record that she deleted to see what could have possibly fallen into the hands of the Russians and the Chinese, it completely inappropriate. I think some things have to happen here. Number one, the State Department has to stop running cover for Hillary Clinton by minimizing the case against her in their background conversations with reporters. This is serious business. Number two, I think the Attorney General, since this has now become a matter of great public concern, should come forward and say publicly that no one is above the law, that she's going to follow the evidence wherever it leads, and that Hillary Clinton, if she's found to have mishandled classified information, will be treated just like any other government employee in the same situation. And then finally, I would say to the nation's newspaper editors, stop treating this like another campaign story. Assign your best defense and national security reporters to it. Because when you subject it to the usual he said, she said, Republican versus Democrat back and forth of a campaign, it doesn't do justice to the story.
Okay, well, let's take it up to kind of the broader discussion about the state of the race. Governor, you are a longtime Democrat, but you believe that Republicans, if they nominate somebody like Marco Rubio, that the Democrats, your party, you're going to have trouble with a candidate like Hillary Clinton.
Because Democrats win on demographics, and part of that demographic is Latinos. And if a guy like Marco Rubio, who is a new generation, a younger guy, a guy who is a Latino, speaks Spanish fluently, he could create problems for some parts of the Democratic Party. Does he get through the primary? I don't know. But he's the new generation of Republicans as opposed to the old generation, which is the rest of the clown bus.
Agree with that?
I'm less concerned about Marco Rubio than I think a lot of other Democrats are, simply because I think the guy's message has been incredibly superficial. I think he's trying to make that point. I think he's trying to make that point that I'm young and fresh and new, but what he backs it up with isn't there. Look, I don't know who to be most worried about right now. As a Democrat, there's 17 candidates in this field. It is impossible to game out the Republican primary.
Curly or Mo? Pick. Curly or Mo?